I am Laertes' son. Odysseus is found by the daughter of Alcinous, king of the Phaeacians. That evening he is a guest at court, books 6 through 8. To the ancient people of Greece and Asia Minor, all guests were God-sent. They had to be treated with great courtesy before they could be asked to identify themselves and state their business. That night at the banquet, the stranger who is washed up on the beach is seated in the guest's place of honor. A minstrel or singer is called, and the mystery guest gives him a gift of pork, crisp with fat, and requests a song about Troy. In effect, Odysseus is asking for a song about himself. Odysseus weeps as the minstrel's song reminds him of all his companions who will never see their homes again. Now Odysseus is asked by the king to identify himself. It is here that he begins the story of his journey. Now this was the reply Odysseus made. I am Laertes' son, Odysseus. Men hold me formidable for guile and peace and war. This fame has gone abroad to the sky's rim. My home is on the peaked sea mark of Ithaca under Mount Neon's wind-blown robe of leaves. In sight of other islands, Deucalion, same as wooded Zacynthus, Ithaca being the most lofty in that coastal sea and northwest, while the rest lie east and south. A rocky isle, but good for a boy's training. I shall not see on earth a place more dear, though I have been detained long by Calypso, loveliest among the goddesses, who held me in her smooth caves to be her heart's delight, as Circe of Aea, the enchantress, desired me and detained me in her hall. But in my heart I never gave consent. Where shall a man find sweetness to surpass his own home and his parents? In far lands he shall not, though he find a house of gold. What of my sailing, then, from Troy? What of those years of rough adventure weathered under Zeus? The wind that carried west from Ilion brought me to Ismaros, on the far shore, a strong point on the coast of the Siconis. I stormed that place and killed the men who fought. Plunder we took, and we enslaved the women to make division, equal shares to all. But on the spot I told them back and quickly, out to sea again. My men were mutinous. Fools on stores of wine, sheep after sheep they butchered by the surf, and shambling cattle feasting while fugitives went inland, running to call to arms the main force of Siconis. This was an army trained to fight on horseback or, where the ground required, on foot. They came with dawn over that terrain like the leaves and blades of spring. So doom appeared to us, dark word of Zeus for us, our evil days. My men stood up and made a fight of it, backed on the ships with lances kept in play, from bright morning through the blaze of noon, holding our beach. Although so far outnumbered, but when the sun passed toward unyoking time, when the Achaeans one by one gave way, 6 benches were left empty in every ship. That evening when we pulled away from death, and this new grief we bore with us to sea, our precious lives we had, but not our friends. No ship made sail until next day, until some shipmate had raised a cry 3 times for each poor ghost unfleshed by the Siconis on that field. Now Zeus, the lord of cloud, roused in the north a storm against the ships, and driving veils of squall moved down like night upon land and sea. The bows went plunging at the gust, sails cracked and lashed out strips in the big wind. We saw death in that fury, dropped the yards, unshipped the oars, and pulled for the nearest lee. Then 2 long days and nights we lay offshore, worn out and sick at heart, tasting our grief until a 3rd dawn came with ringlets shining. Then we put up our masts, hauled sail, and rested, letting the steersman and the breeze take over. I might have made it safely home that time, but as I came round Malea, the current took me out to sea, and from the north fresh gale drove me on past Cythera. 9 days I drifted on the teeming sea before dangerous high winds.